talk about a Love After Lockup cast member that we haven't talked about in a hot minute, and that is Doug. Doug is the one who dated Rachel in a previous season. He had a 12-year-old son named Dougie Jr., and he came out of prison, and he wasn't out long before he ended up cheating on Rachel, and then next thing you know, he was arrested and thrown back in prison. The last time I had talked about Doug on this channel is when I was reacting to his sentencing, where a judge sentenced him to 11 to 58 years in prison for charges related to torture and conducting a criminal enterprise. But now it looks like Doug has accomplished a small win because he just won a settlement where he's going to get paid $45,000 from the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety. So this settlement is a result from an incident that occurred when the officers arrested Doug on these charges on August 11th of 2021. So according to court documents, Doug alleged that one of the officers, he ended up ramming a vehicle into Doug while he was on his motorcycle, which caused him to be thrown off and injured. And Doug claimed that the officer that had rammed him with his car ended up jumping out of his car, and him and two other officers allegedly just started beating on him before they ended up handcuffing him and transporting him to a local hospital. And in the lawsuit, it claims that Doug contended that the use of force by the officers was excessive and violated his rights, and he seeks $75,000 in compensation for his injuries and legal fees. And the police reports from both the Kalamazoo Police Department and the Michigan State Police provided a different perspective, and they claimed that their actions were in accordance with the police department policy and that Doug's alleged wrongful conduct negated any claims for damages. When Doug was arrested in August of 2021, that was after the police had done a long-term investigation on Doug, and he had multiple warrants out for his arrest. The police had information that Doug was allegedly running a criminal enterprise, and he was selling large quantities of meth. And when he was arrested, he was sent to prison in the St. Louis Correctional Facility, and it shows here that his earliest release date is March 16th of 2035, or at the very latest, his maximum discharge date is February 15th of 2082, and he'd probably be dead by then, honestly. And so he was arrested and sentenced for torture, which was a minimum 12-year, maximum 40-year sentence. He was sentenced for criminal enterprise, which is a minimum 8-year, maximum 20-year sentence. He was sentenced for weapons, firearm discharge from a vehicle, which is a minimum sentence of 2 years, a maximum of 10 years. And he was arrested for weapons, felony firearms, and he got a minimum and maximum sentence of 2 years for that. He was arrested for home invasion in the first degree, and he has a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 20 years for that charge. In one incident, the police report detailed that Doug allegedly kidnapped and tortured someone in March of 2021, during which he reportedly subjected the victim to physical torture and threats. And Doug had evaded law enforcement multiple times, but he was eventually arrested during a police operation in August of 2021, and they found drugs, firearms, and stolen property. And the confrontation between Doug and the officers resulted in the collision where the officer ended up ramming him with his car. Doug must have found him a really good lawyer because he was able to win the court case, and he reached a settlement with the city of Kalamazoo. He was trying to get $75,000, and they were able to agree on $45,000. The settlement was finalized 3 months ago in March, so I'm sure he's loving that he has all that money now, and he's probably doing real good with money on his books. I wouldn't be surprised if some girls start trying to hit him up knowing he's got that settlement money. Like, remember Chris, who's with Gabby? He got a settlement after he was beat up by some guards, and then Gabby hit him up and she just drained him for all that money he had. I wonder if he's still with that girl that he was dating when he went to prison. I know she was sticking by his side at first, but I could not find any updates on whether or not they're still together. I mean, I highly doubt it just because his sentence is so long. And I tried to look and see if he was on any pen pal websites, and I couldn't find him on any of them. That's pretty much all the updates I have on Doug, and all the updates I'll probably have on him for a while since he's in prison for a hot minute. And speaking of Doug, I tried to see what I could find out about Rachel, and really there's not much. Apparently, she is not a big fan of social media, and she barely gets on there anymore. And she still currently does have Dougie Jr. And I just respect her so much for her decision to be willing to give Dougie Jr. a better life, since his father wasn't willing to do what he needed to do to make sure that happens. Because a lot of people would not do that in a situation. They wouldn't be willing to adopt their ex's kid. But I feel like that was honestly what was best for Dougie. And I feel like his whole direction in life can change, and now he possibly has a chance being in that environment, and it just warms my heart so much to know that. I talked to Deontay, and he's still really good friends with her and talks to her here and there, and he said that she's doing really good. She's just working a lot and focusing on family life. But that is it for this video, guys. I just wanted to share this update with you guys about Doug, because I definitely didn't see him winning a settlement for $45,000 in my 2024 bingo card. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.